Welcome for the first time to the first race of the Group 6 Cup Series here in the Doghouse Racing League for our very first regular season race. My name is Hunter Foley, and I'll be alongside my partner Jonathan Smith bringing you these races this evening. We could not be more excited. I'm going to kick it over to my partner here, John, to give us a little introduction and what we're going to be expecting for this race here at Daytona.
Is it working now? Yeah, I think it's working now. Perfect. Yeah, we're out here at Daytona. You have to excuse me. I'm coming off being super sick for quite a while now. Feels like it's been forever. It's only been for about 3 days, but we're going to power through and watch these guys race their first race here at Daytona tonight. 2.5 mile track. They raced here 2 weeks ago in the Clash with Christopher Simon taking a surprise win there at the very end. Missing a wreck, missing a caution, getting around everybody and coming out to win it. He's going to be looking to do the same thing here tonight, but there's also some other key players here tonight that I think could win it. We talked about guys like Andrew St. Cyr, Jonathan Jennings, always has a chance. Mike Leftwich, always a great driver, who actually won here Tuesday night in their series. So a lot of guys to look out for.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting race here tonight. That Clash was one of the more exciting things I think I've actually ever had the privilege of watching. So super excited to see how this all goes down. But first thing we want to make sure that we do is thank our sponsors for not only this race, but also for the series this year. As we mentioned earlier, we are racing here the Group 6 Cup Series on Thursday nights. So we are going to be brought to you for the entire season by Group 6. And so we want to make sure we give them a huge shout out here as we get started. Group 6, at Group 6, they are a leading creative agency. They are passionate about creating and crafting cutting edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top tier managed hosting services. Our mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore our wide range of services at group6inc.com. That is GROUP, the number 6, INC.com. And see how we can drive your digital success. Special thanks to Group 6 for being our series sponsor for the year. We are also going to be brought to you tonight by Shoney's. Doghouse Racing League is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Choni's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947.
Nice. I am trying my best not to cough right into the mic here. Try to get down to some of these drivers that's going around the track. If I can see anybody that's on the racetrack right now.
You're going to have to give us some patience on the sniffles here, ladies and gentlemen. The flu waits for no man, and it certainly did not wait for Jonathan Smith.
No,
that man is over there dying.
It came up and got me. I've never been, I don't get sick much, but when I do, it hits hard. It's definitely got me.
Gotta hold on.
What's more important than me and my sniffles right now is these guys that are racing right here. Chris Simon, winner of the last race here, the Clash, kind of in dramatic fashion. We talked to him before that. Him and St. Cyr kind of had similar thoughts about the draft package. I'm excited to see what Simon has here tonight. Another guy that's right in front of him is Kevin Powell. It's like done that 93 car. Kevin Powell on the racetrack somewhere. Good, Kevin. I think he's going to be fast tonight too.
Kevin's looked really good. I saw him, all these drivers back in the Clash, kind of going back and forth. Had some, I think we had quite a few of the yellow flags in that first Clash. Everyone went pretty clean in the second one. And then in that actual race that they ran, it was the cleanest race you could imagine up until about 10 to go. And then that's when we saw everything start breaking loose.
I mean, that's kind of what it is here at Daytona, I guess. Is the goal is to survive 95% of the race, and at the very end, that's when we
Yep.
send it. You can't make it to the end if you don't survive the first 99 laps. So we got 100 laps for you guys coming up here tonight at Daytona. It's going to be a good one. I believe they're going to have to pit probably 2 or 3 times. Not sure what the fuel window is looking like for these guys, but we're going to try to get somebody up here in the booth around qualifying or when the race starts, and we'll talk to them, see how they're going to feel.
As you can see, kind of up there at that top left, we got a couple seconds here left to practice. These guys have been out here for the last hour actually working on different strategies, different things they're going to be working on going into this race before we go into qualifying here. One of the things you're really going to start noticing here at Daytona is, well, to be very honest with you, there's not a lot that matters in the beginning. It's finding a line that's comfortable for you. It's finding those teammates. It's finding those guys that want to run with you, and just making sure you don't fall to the back of the pack. Realistically, at Daytona, what you're really going to be looking for is just to stay safe. The guys that are going to win this race are going to be the ones that are not necessarily always going to be running first, second, third. It's going to be the guy that's running 9th, 10th, 11th that is keeping their nose clean and not getting involved in the inevitable accidents that are going to happen here. I think we saw that with the actual NASCAR race this last weekend, John, at Daytona.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just a good example about you don't have to be skillful. I mean, you have to have some skill, but as long as you got a little bit of luck on your side, anybody can win this race. So it's a good track to come to. I've always kind of compared it to a lottery system. I think you'll hear a lot of other drivers compare it to that. It does take skill. You do have to be in the right place at the right time. I'm not taking away anything from anybody, but as we saw with William Byron, it does not help to have a little bit of luck on your side as well.
It definitely does not. And it's more about, I think maybe that's where the skill comes in here at Daytona. It's about knowing where to put yourself to be lucky. And
Exactly.
with these guys, you're going to see, like I said, you're going to be able to see them run 9th, 10th, 11th, and be out there in a good position to win the race at the end, as long as they have their plan together.
Yeah, starting our first lap
here on the track.
Yeah, qualifying first right here, coming out the track's Nick Alford from Norfolk, Virginia. Take it away, Hunter.
Yeah, we have Nick Alford out here, who does want us to know that he's out there doing it for Dale, and so I do respect that extremely. I believe he's one of our newcomers for the year. Looked extremely fast in the duels that we were running last week. Definitely going to be someone that we're going to need to watch out for as this year goes on. I hear getting his first lap in. John, I know we've talked about this before, but at Daytona, a lot of your strategy for qualifying is going to be getting out there and really getting into gear in that first lap. So you're kind of burning the first lap in a sense, and then really letting it down to go on the second lap.
Yeah, you kind of want to stick to the high side there on your first lap, and then on your second lap, you'll see a lot of these guys drop down to the bottom, like Cameron King here, racing at Jacksonville, Florida. Actually, he's going to be pulling it down to the infield.
And one of the things you are going to start noticing as we kind of go through these drivers here is you are going to see some names that are familiar to the Doghouse Racing League. As you can see, the qualifying numbers start to pop up there. You're going to see some last names that you do recognize. You're also going to see some newcomers to the league. These guys do race on a system where once you're a part of the league, then you have a guaranteed spot into your race. If you are not a member of the league, then you are allowed to race your way in via qualifying. And when you're going in via qualifying, that means you have to have a time that qualifies you in. So if you see some names that you might not recognize, it might be one of our newcomers that are coming in. But who is not a newcomer here is Stephen Bonomo out of Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, Stephen repping that new number 9 car there with that Advent help. Always good driver, showing a lot of improvement. Likes to keep it really clean. I'm looking forward to seeing what Stephen's going to do this year. He's been growing a lot more and more in this league, and I think he's going to do some big things. He's going to jump over here to Eric Anderson, which just completed.
Stephen's looked incredibly fast.
Eric Anderson's going to, it's like he's going to claim that ninth spot, moving back to 10th because Brent McCoy just jumped in front of him.
Brent McCoy, that's going to be one of our guys that's going to need to qualify in, I believe, or is he going to be a charter member for this year?
I don't know if he's a chartered member or not. So a lot of these drivers, there's about 40 charters that we have placed out here. 38, 39, 40, 41. There's, I think, 40 charters, and there is only 40 spots for this race tonight. So that means whoever does not qualify in the top 40 will be cut from this race.
So we've had about 30 people qualify. Thus far, 39 have already qualified. So that's going to be interesting to see as the season goes on, how many people we have that are racing into having to race their way in to get into these races. So definitely going to be exciting to see as the race goes on.
I believe of the people that have not qualified, two of those guys actually do have charters. That's going to be Josh Cully and Randy Belk. And I think Randy Belk is on the track right now, if I'm seeing this correctly. Oh, here's Randy.
Randy Belk out there in that SimuCube 67 car. Out there trying to race his way in. You know, I have a lot of respect for that, to be honest with you. And putting their butt on the line, getting out here and trying to put down a fast time to get things done. And then these guys are going to have 10 more minutes of warm-up. And then we are actually going to get over to the actual racing here. John, who do you think is going to be some people to watch out for here in this race if we can start pulling up the final qualifying numbers?
Yeah, I think the people that you really want to start, that you're going to watch out for tonight is going to be guys like Jamie Horn up here and Andrew St. Cyr in the front. Both of those guys work really well with their teammates and are able to push each other and push other people to the front. They also do well at being pushed. You'll hear a lot of guys talk about, like, would I rather be a pusher or be pushed? And both of those guys do well in both. So there is a difference. I personally, myself, I think I'd rather be pushing somebody because sometimes you don't know who's behind you. But as long as I keep it nose to tail here tonight, don't get too sideways or squirrely on each other, they should be really fast.
And that's going to be one of the other things that you have to keep in mind, too. Like you said, with being a pusher or being pushed, that was one of the things that we saw led to that race-ending caution at Daytona in the actual NASCAR race. The announcers were talking about that as the race was going on. The guy that was in front, his car didn't like being pushed, and so he was getting loose. And so anytime he got bumped, which the guy behind him was doing exactly what he was supposed to do, he was drafting, he was making sure that he was pushing his guy. But with him not being able to, the car in front of him not being able to take that push, it just made him get loose. I think looking at these numbers here as well, you're also going to be looking out for Tyler Millette. Now you're qualifying in 8th. That's a really good spot to be at Daytona, especially early. Mike Leftwich, always fast in the 9th position. And then even going further back, you have Kevin Thompson, been looking really good. He's in the 12th position there. And then we have Connor Darnell, Cameron King in 15th, Joe McKnight, 16th. Nick Alford in 17th. We were just talking about him. A lot of fast guys are going to be here in this top 20, but I think, like you said as well, you also got those guys that are up front that may be wanting to stay up there. We got Gary Armijo, 21st. Zachary Tyler is going to be in the 22nd position. Jonathan Jennings, now with the Shoney's Racing Team, in 23rd. Eric Warman is going to be in the 24th position. Adam Thompson in 25th. Shane Parrish is going to come in 26th. Adam Gardner, 27th. And Stephen Bonomo, longtime member here, 28th. Tony Martin's going to be our 29th spot qualifier. Brian Messer in 30th. Bill Gentry, 31st. Justin McMahon is going to be our 32nd position. Kevin Powell, 33. Daniel Wilkerson, who is actually the admin of the Doghouse Racing League, so big shout out to him, is going to be in our 34th position. Michael Dow, 35th. Mike Hayes, 36th. Zachary Miller, 37th. And Brian Dixon in 38th. Bringing up the end of the pack here, we have Paul Buchanan in 39th. Randy Belk, one of the guys that raced his way in here in 40th. And we have Josh Cully there in 41st, but it looks like he did not put down a time.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work because I think that Josh Cully does have a charter. but I don't know if the rule states that he has to qualify to be able to use that charter. So interested to see how that works, because if not, I believe the next one cut would be actually Paul Buchanan. I know Randy Belk is underchartered, so very interested to see how this is going to play out. What's going to happen here?
It is definitely going to be fun to see. And I think, like you said, Daytona is going to be so interesting to watch as these guys are going around. You're going to see these guys that want to stay in the front, and they want to be somewhere between, first and 10th, and they don't ever want to be behind there because that's where they're comfortable being. So they will race their way to make sure that they stay in those spots. And you have the other guys that are perfectly willing to sit in the middle of the pack, just be a member of the draft, push the guy in front of them, be pushed by the guy behind them, and just keep moving forward. And, oh my God, as we see someone go around there during warm-ups.
That was a little father-son action. Chris Leftwich spinning his father, Mike Leftwich, there.
Shout out to the Leftwiches as they are part of our Shoney sponsorship. So big shout out to them. Excited to see them go through this season. Those guys are very, very fast, and it's going to be really fun to watch them. And we go over here, Brian Messer, one of the newcomers for the league here, looked extremely fast in the duels last week.
Yeah, I think he actually took one of the clashes. I think he won the second clash.
He definitely did. Going over here to our comment section here really quick. We have Brent McCoy saying, enjoy the race tonight, everyone. Hoping to have a good show and a great broadcast. Brent, we hope to bring you a great broadcast, and we know it's going to be a good show. We have K-Doggy saying, what's up? Hopefully a great race. I'm sure it will be. Everyone, if you want to get in the comments, please make sure that you leave a like and leave a subscribe as well. The Doghouse Racing League channel is new for this year, and we are super excited to be a part of it. There is different broadcasters on the Tuesday night races, but we could not be more excited, myself and John, to be bringing you the Thursday night, the Group 6 Cup Series to all of you guys. We are a little new to the broadcasting scene, so if you have a little bit of patience with us, we would sure appreciate it as we kind of try to figure out all the technical stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But either way, we are delighted to be sitting here talking to all of y'all and watching these great drivers get it on here every Thursday night. But if you have any comments, you have any concerns, you have any questions, you have any compliments, please make sure you leave them down there in the comments. While you're there, make sure you throw us a like and leave a subscribe for the Doghouse Racing Boys. I know that it is appreciated by all of these guys who get out here and work their butts off every week as we go on track to Stephen Bonomo.
Yeah, I'm trying to cycle through some drivers here just to show what everybody's doing, see what the strategy is going to be for everybody. This is back with Nick Offer and Brian Messer pushing. I believe that's going to be that other pack. This is a huge pack from around here. I see Tyler Millette. I see Chris Leftwich in that pack as well. Kevin Powell.
Jeremy Richmond, I believe a newcomer, ride that Bucky's 97 car out of Roanoke, Texas.
A lot of nice cars here. Something this league does well. A lot of nice cars they run.
A lot of good designs here. It's always interesting to see everyone put out their best for the Doghouse Racing League. Going back to Andrew St. Court, as you said, has been incredibly fast these past weeks, leading into the regular season here that we're in. Looking for a lot out of him this year, I feel like.
Yeah, he's working alongside, but I believe it's going to be Nick Shell, I think. Yep, Nick Shell. Number 58 card. Nick Shell's been in the league for a little bit now. He is not exactly a newcomer, but I know he and his race team are coming in here tonight. The Hot Lap Heroes, I believe the name of the race team is. They're going to be fast, so that's a team to watch out for.
Definitely going to be exciting. Nick Shell, I believe. Who else is in that race team? It's a lot of the newer folks that we have coming to the league this year.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to find them. I don't think much of them are on the track right now. I believe Cameron King was on that race group too. And maybe Josh Clark.
believe so. We will get the teams down more as we move on through the season here. But again, going back to Josh Cully here at Boise, Idaho, and then cutting up here to Eric Warman, longtime member of the Doghouse Racing League. Always very fast, always qualifies well. Excited to see where he ends up as this season goes on, as they're doing a little bumping and dragging even in the practice. This is going to be a good race.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. As long as they keep it clean for these first 90 laps, it's going to be a shootout here at the end.
And that's what we're hoping for. A lot of times you see with Daytona, you want that clean racing. You want these guys just being able to get in line, being able to draft well, being able to work together well, finding out who your teammates are, finding out who you want to work with for the majority of the race, and then it all kind of starts to break loose there at the end. We saw that a lot in the actual Daytona 500. It was compared to a lot of the other heats, compared to the Clash, it was a very clean race. And then with about 20 laps to go, you started to see everything breaking loose and everybody start to forget who their teammates were and forget who they'd been working with and try to win the race. And that's what's going to be exciting to see as we go in here to the last couple laps.
And it looks like warm-up is over now, so they're going to start gridding up here soon. Again, I just want to thank all of our sponsors, starting with Group6. Hunter, if you want to tell us about Group6, who they are, what they do.
Yeah, I'll be trying to take over most of the sponsor reads tonight for my buddy who's just trying to hold on for dear life to his voice. So, again, we are the Group6 Cup Series. It is the Doghouse Racing that is brought to you by Group6. Group6, which is a leading creative agency. We are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Our mission is to help businesses of all size enhance their online presence. Explore our wide range of services at group6inc.com. That is GROUP, the number 6inc.com, and see how we can help drive your digital success. Definitely want to make sure that we spend a little extra time thanking Group6 for being the series sponsor for this year, for them stepping out and being a huge sponsor for these guys. And then we also do have drivers on the track that are going to be driving for the Shoney's racing team, and the series is also brought to you by Shoney's. The Doghouse Racing League is very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, bringing you delicious food and friendly service since 1947.
And that's going to bring us up here to our guys gridding up, getting ready to go green. Bill Hull is going to be your pole position winner. Ran a really fast lap there. He's going to be starting on the inside for the pole. On the pole for the first race of the Doghouse Racing League in this season. So Bill's going to kick it off, hopefully get us a good restart. Maybe he might go out there and win this thing and start out the season with a win.
It's going to be exciting. Bill Hull's not a name that you've heard too terribly much over these last couple of races, and he's out here in the pole position. So he's going to be in the catbird seat. For all the talk that we have made about at Daytona, doesn't really matter where you start, it matters where you finish. It never hurts to be up front, and unless you're in the last couple laps of this last Daytona 500, you're not really likely to get wrecked when you're running that number one position or that number two position. So it's got to be a lot of a confidence booster for him to be in that number one spot going into the first green flag. As we get ready to get going here, he's got to be excited about what's to come.
Oh yeah, and these guys are getting ready to go green here. I'm trying to get you a better cam for it.
Green flag.
Here we go to the green flag, ladies and gentlemen, for the Daytona in the Group 6 Cup Series. First regular season race. Here we go. A big checkup on that bottom line.
Trying to cycle back to that was Mike Leftwich. Didn't really get the best start there. He's going to fall back a little bit. Seems like he's going to hold on to it okay.
He should be able to catch back up to the draft there. We see that top line starting to clump together. They're right on top of each other as we go up there to the 98 and the 97. They're starting to push together really well. That low lane seems like it's working together really well. They're starting to stack back up.
That's me, Andrew
Oh, we
St.
have, I
Core.
believe, St. Core jumping back out to that top line.
What a move by St. Core. I was going to really think about some fuel strategy situations, but he is definitely going out there to get it. Normally in these situations,
like
if you wanted to save some fuel, you might stay back. You want to be like third car in line. You know, when we're coming out of the corners, we're letting the draft do the work. We don't have to put as much throttle input into it, so we're saving fuel. But St. Core's got the opposite idea here tonight. He's just going to send it.
he's going for the other strategy of I'm the safest out front. I like leading laps. I like winning. So I'm just going to go out here and try to win it. We're going back down to Jeremy Rich. We're going to spend some time with him in practice out of Roanoke, Texas, one of the newcomers here. Now taking our first position as we come across.
Yeah, and I was hoping to try to get some interviews with some guys in here tonight before the race started, but to be honest with everybody, I've been behind being sick. I don't know if you can hear it, but as of about an hour ago, I still had a fever. But we're pushing through, so next week we will bring you more interviews, more people up here in the booth. Let's just chalk it up to social distancing while we're not doing interviews tonight. But really, it's just me being a little unprepared with everything going on in my life. So I apologize for that, but we will have after-race interviews with our podium winners, and next week we will have pre-race interviews and maybe some caution interviews as well.
And that is something we are excited to be able to bring you here as this season goes on. We love talking to these drivers. Again, myself, I'm a longtime fan of the Doghouse Racing League. I very realistically only got my first setup yesterday, so I haven't been able to be very involved with these races in person. Just been a fan looking at it from outside. John is a longtime member of the Doghouse Racing League, been involved in these races for a long time, so he's has personal relationships with these guys, so it's really special to us to be able to bring you those interviews as the season goes on and be able to talk to these guys and kind of go through their headspace as we see what they're dealing with out here on this track. Seeing a lot of checking up going in there, kind of in the middle of the pack. We're on board with Andrew St. Core here, who's still leading that bottom track, that bottom line, getting a huge push from Jamie Horn.
Yeah, he's going to like that low side there. I like the low side here too as well, so can't blame him on that. But the whole name of the game is just to sit behind these cars, don't wreck. You know, you can give pushes here, but it's the third car in line. You're not really want to bump too much. You just keep your nose clean. That's the big thing here.
It's usually when you start to see that third, fourth, fifth car in line start trying to do a lot of bumping. That's when it starts that chain reaction that usually can lead to some bad times for everybody else.
I'm trying to.
We saw that in the actual Daytona 500 again. Just being able to reference that since it was just a week ago or so is very convenient. As we're racing at Daytona here, but we see them start to stack up a little bit there. So here are these guys here in the back of the pack as we kind of go back and take a look here at that 66 of Shane Parrish. Are these guys back here, are they really going to be concerned about where they're running right now? Are they going to be concerned that they're further back in the pack? Or what's going through your mind if you're in this position right here where you're somewhere, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th? Further back, but still a long race to go.
Not a lot right now. Just to be completely honest, elevator music. I'm not thinking about a single thing that's worrisome. There is a good 90 plus laps left in this race, and this race is really determined by about 3 laps. So these guys are just kind of saving their tires, saving their fuel. Really is a big thing. It's just saving the fuel, seeing who's driving well, making friends out there, and then near the end, you're going to use those friends to take you to the front.
And again, to your point earlier, one of the benefits that these guys do have that are running further in the back of the pack right now is they are able to save a lot more gas. So if it does come down to a gas race, obviously we're going to have either a caution or just going to have green flag pit stops at some point during this race. So we're very early. That's not a concern right now. But as this race goes on, understanding your strategy of how much gas you're actually going to be able to save in your car specific to your setup, because these guys are running their setups, is going to be super important for how you're able to finish this race.
Yeah, what people don't take into account either is that as the car goes on, as you keep driving this car, the setup will change. For instance, if you're starting this car with about 20 gallons of gas in it, it's going to be heavier and pushed lower to the track. As the run goes on, that fuel gets burned up, your car's going to lift more and more off the track, which could make you just a little bit more loose as the run goes on as well.
It's going to be super interesting to see here. And then again, going over to our comments section, we have K-Doggy, number 33, saying, hey, Brent. We have B-Max saying, go Twisted Axle, keeping my eye on number 12. Go Andrew. A little shout out to Andrew St. Cor. Then we have Andrew St. Cor himself, BMP rebranded. So Andrew, while being out there on the track, also here in the comments, making sure that his voice is heard. Good luck tonight, man. Running third right now. That's a level of multitasking that I don't think I possess, John. He's out here running, about to be in third place, leading that top lane, and still in the comments, making sure that BMP is heard. Good for him.
That's excellent branding. Good brand awareness right there.
Oh, looks like we have a couple guys going off of that bottom lane and trying to get up there to the top. That is going to be Nicholas Atwood and Andrew St. Cor. And they duck right back down. Looks like they were just trying to make a move around Jeremy Richmond there.
Yeah, Nick Atwood's going to be your new leader for now. That's teammates with Andrew St. Cor, and those guys are going to work together, stick together. So if I'm somebody like Jamie Horn, who you see pushing Richmond now behind, you're going to want to either try to split those two guys up or something to mess up their mojo so they cannot work together later on this run.
Having teammates is so important at Daytona. Having somebody that you know that you can make a move and get out in front of, or jump out and get behind and make a push, that's going to be wildly important as you see this race go on, especially towards the latter half of it. And equally as important, you're going to have these guys who are maybe out here making some enemies. And those guys that, remember when you left them on red, when they were trying to go to the high side, you went back down, left them to fall back to the back. They're going to remember that as this race goes on. And that's going to be a huge deal as we come towards the end of this race here. Closing in on our 12th lap here. Still have Richmond, again, pushing up to the lead there. Nicholas Atwood right behind him. Jamie Horn, Andrew St. Cor, and Darnell in the 40 car. Gary Clune and Shell in the 58 are fighting for 6th and 7th right now.
Yeah, somebody we haven't really talked about tonight is Connor Darnell. I'm not familiar with this guy. This is going to be probably a newcomer to the league. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do here in this league and how he's going to perform with these open setups these guys are wheeling here tonight.
Setups are going to be something that's absolutely something to watch out for. Good catch on that cough there, buddy. Proud of you.
I'm trying to pull it away as much as I can.
Setups are going to be something that's so important here. You know, some of these guys are creating their own setups from scratch. Others have sponsors that are going to bring it in. And, we see someone there on the high side falling all the way back to the back there.
That's going to be Randy Belt, number 67. He's going to be a lap down right now.
Like there might be something going on with that car if he's a lap down. I don't know if he's just trying to get out of the way or if he's got something going on. Maybe he needs to bring it down pit road, but he is starting to slide a little bit back there.
Remember, he did qualify in the very back as well. So maybe something from the start of the race. I'm not sure. But not being in the draft's not going to help him out at all here, so.
It is not. I don't know if he just has something going on. He's just trying to get out of the way, but we're going to come up here to Stephen Bonomo here.
It's like Steven's running 32nd right now. He's down 4 spots from where he started. This whole group is falling back just a little bit. But they got a lot of time. I think they'll catch up. There's bound to be a caution. So as long as they say as a group, don't go a lap down. That's the key.
Making sure that you stay on the lead lap is a huge deal here at Daytona because it's so hard to make that lap back, even on the green flag cautions, or even on the green flag pit stops, excuse me. It's going to be a hard job to get that lap back. Going over to the comments here, we have Sean Thompson wishing Kev good luck, and we have Chris Davis wishing Atwood and St. Cor saying let's go Atwood and St. Cor, wishing them a good race here. It's like we have the left witches running 6th and 7th currently.
Mike and Chris. Mike won our Tuesday night series here in the Gym 4 cars. I unfortunately had to miss that race. So I was feeling just as bad then. But I felt like I would be more harm than good.
I think the story that you told was you were trying to drive home from class. You were like, well, if I can't drive my real car very good right now, I should probably not drive the virtual one.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin anybody's day because of my headspace isn't there, so decided to sit that one out.
Yeah. Unfortunate. But again, these guys do race on Tuesday nights as well. Be sure to, again, check out the Doghouse Racing League channel for those Tuesday night series. They race the Gen 4 cars on Tuesday nights, John?
Gen 4, yep, and that is brought to you by Intensity Broadcasting, longtime broadcaster of the league. Does a lot of great work. We actually take notes from him to figure out what we're doing wrong, so check them out at Intensity Broadcasting on, I believe, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. YouTube and Twitch for sure.
Those guys do a great job. We do definitely take notes. As we're starting our broadcasting journey here, we have our own style and our own spin that we're trying to put on things, but we definitely take notes from what we consider some of the greats in the industry, and those guys do a wonderful job. So be sure to check them out on Tuesday nights. It's going to be a really exciting series, and while you will not hear my voice or see my car out there on Tuesday nights, you will more often than not see John's. So if you're a fan of his, be sure to come out there and support on Tuesday nights, as well as a lot of these other guys, a lot of these other great drivers out there on Tuesday nights. Seeing Tyler Millette move up quite a few spots here, moving up to the 5th position, now leading that top lane.
Yeah, he's got Jamie Horner here pushing behind. His teammates working together there. And again, it's early. They're just kind of feeling things out. You know, everybody knows they got a pit. You just want to stay with the pack right now.
One of the things that I know we've talked about before is how, especially at these super speedways, the early race is, while it may seem like, quote, quote, less exciting racing, it may seem like these guys are just kind of sitting in a line. This is a chess match. This is guys trying to figure out who they can work with. This is guys trying to figure out where their car runs best, whether they do better pushing or whether they do better being pushed. It's them trying to figure out what's the best spot for them to be in when they have to come down pit road. It's them figuring out, okay, here's where I need to be at the end of the race to make sure that I'm in the best spot to be able to go and get this thing. So all these guys are doing a lot of thinking right now, and it's going to be really exciting to see where this ends up as this race goes on.
Yeah, and you can kind of see just how big the gap is between these two lines here. And there's a lot of people that have different schools of thoughts on all this about how far out they should be, if they should make a second group, if they shouldn't make a second group or not. But some people like to stay in the back and make a second group. That way, if the front pack wrecks, you know that group will come right up to the front. Some people like to be in the front and hope that the wreck happens behind them. So just two different schools of thought.
Like you said, a lot of the Daytona racing, especially early on, it's that weird mix of Sunday drive, cruising, free bird in your ears, having a great time, and also trying to have the other side of your mind on that chess match of figuring out where it's going to be best to be as this race goes on. As we see that top lane really start to pick up some heat as they're getting a little bit loose down there on that low side.
Yeah, that's St. Cor right there pushing really hard. That's going to be Nick Atwood on the top side. Taking over first place from now. He should have a run on the stretch here. Especially with two good pushers, like you have St. Cor behind him. Millette's a good pusher. Jamie Horner's a great pusher behind him as well. So that top line, I expect to see some speed out of that.
Nick Atwood's been looking really fast here, and we've been talking about Andrew St. Cor as this race has gotten started. Been looking faster and faster as the season's gone on. really excited to see where he ends up this year. And we have Tyler Millette still in third. Jamie Horn moving into that fourth position, and Richmond back in the fifth position. All of these guys have been sitting right there up at the front. Most of this race, other than Tyler Millette, has moved up, I believe, 5 or 6 positions since the start.
Yeah, Millette's up 5. Nick Atwood's up 5. I believe that's kind of the biggest mover right now is Josh Coley, who was up 9 spots. He's back here in the second pack, cruising along. We do have a lot of guys that have moved in the opposite direction pretty negatively, but Josh Coley now up 13 spots, it's showing. Sitting 28.
Currently, we're making him our biggest mover of the night. And again, as we said, if you're in this backpack this early in the race, there's no reason to be concerned. It's just about making sure that you stay in line, make sure that you're moving forward, make sure that you're not losing too much time on the pack. I will say, having all of these cars immediately in this large straight line, they would probably be better served starting to figure out who wants to ride the high side, who wants to ride that low side. It's just so easy when you're in this long straight line, as you're kind of seeing right there between the 28 and I believe the 88 car. That separation is going to start to break your draft. It's going to hurt your ability to move up quickly.
Yeah, and I just noticed on the front of Justin McMahon's car here, he's got some damage on the nose of that car, it looks like. Not sure where that came from. Maybe it was a bad restart at the beginning and he's just been riding with it. So I bet he's hoping for a caution, try to get that fixed up a little bit.
So the thing you're going to see is you're going to see some guys out here, especially early on in this race here at Daytona. You're going to be some guys that are, as we do see Jamie Horn move into the lead for, I believe, the first time here tonight.
That was Engel that
You're going to have
got
guys
the
out
wall.
here that are praying for a caution. You're going to have guys that do not want the caution to come out, as we see Jeremy Engel slow on the track.
Yeah, I saw him get up into the wall. I tried to shift to him really quick. Looks like he lost his right front fender. He might have a flat on that right side. As you can see it hobbling along there. He's going to enter the pits.
Be interesting to see how that goes out for him. We see him shuffling a lot up near the front. We see Jonathan Jennings go down low. Tyler Millette stay on that top side.
A lot of
Nick
white and red
Atwood
cars
still
out there.
leading the race. Tyler Millette out of Paintsville, Kentucky, longtime member of the Doghouse Racing League. Won a lot of races, done really well in the league here. Going to be exciting to see what kind of season he's able to put in this year, especially with people changing teams, with newcomers. It's going to be exciting to see how that all ends up for him.
Yeah, another guy we haven't talked about a lot either is Nick Shell here. Looks like he's going to be running P6 right now. I believe he's going to be part of that Hot Lap Heroes team as well. Trying to find a teammate to work with. Let's hop inside his cockpit cam, see what he's seeing right now. This is pretty much it. It's kind of a chess match. Am I going to go high? Am I going to go low? Am I going to pick up Tyler Millette on the outside? He's not. He's going to stay low and stay here and hope Tyler hops in behind him.
And that cockpit cam is going to be something we're trying to use a lot more as the year goes on. As we know, there's going to be a lot of people out here that are either drivers themselves and want to maybe learn more, want to see how these guys actually do it, or maybe just have some friends and family members that are out there that are tuning in to support their driver, and you want to see what kind of goes into this. I can tell you from personal experience, as someone who has tried to get into iRacing, it is not as easy as these guys make it look. There's a lot of talent that goes into this. We've even seen some guys that have started on the iRacing circuit that end up going to race in the NASCAR series. That's how realistic this whole thing can be. And it's super exciting for these guys. Some of these guys, it's something that they do in their spare time. It's something that they do for their job. It's something that they can race in these leagues, make money, whatever the case may be. And for some of these guys, it's because it's the start of a dream. And that's one of the things that I think makes iRacing super, super unique and super exciting to watch.
Yeah, now that you have it set up, you can get into iRacing too. We'll see you out here on Tuesday nights.
I'm looking forward to it. I've got to get a lot better before I can start making any moves. But I believe you've seen my driving before, and it's a danger to not only myself but others. And so, it's gonna be something that I'm gonna need to put some work in on before we move forward. There, still see Jamie Horn here in the lead, with Richmond behind him, McCoy in the 29 car in third place, Nick Atwood behind him in the 91, Andrew St. Cord in the 12. Making our top 5 here. These guys are starting to get more single file, just trying to figure out where they want to be and how they're going to move forward. We do have in our comments, we have Kermit 418. I believe he raced in some of our duels here earlier this year, saying Hot Lap Heroes for the win. So we have some supporters for the Hot Lap Heroes here in the comments watching.
That was Randy Belk who was in the pits there. Looks like he's going to be off the track for the night. I think he might be done.
I know he qualified closer towards the back, and then we did see him go a lap down and looked significantly slower than a lot of the other cars on the track. I don't know if maybe he had something go on, if he got into the wall early on, or what ended up happening for him there. But unfortunate to see him down on the pit road for the time being. Hermit again saying he will be back next week. Hashtag unchartered.
That should be the new trend.
Like I was saying, you have to respect these guys that are coming in here unchartered and just know that they have to get in and go fast. And for them, it's got to bring up so much excitement too. I mean, obviously, we love having all of our chartered guys in here, all the names that you know and all the names that you recognize. It's super fun to be able to talk about that. But these guys that are unchartered here, they're just out here to go fast. They're out here to go out here and try to win. They're out here putting it all on the line. And it's super fun to see that from up top as we go in. It can lead to some really great moments.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder when this first pit cycle is going to come around for these guys. I don't know exactly how many laps they can go off of it. But if I had to guess, it has to be coming up pretty soon here in the next 15 laps.
I feel like that's maybe why we're starting to see these guys get a lot more single file on the low side here, as everyone's starting to figure out where their teammates are, trying to communicate where everything's going to be so they can get down pit road. We do still have a couple cars there. Who do we still have up there on the high side?
That looks like that's going to be maybe Nick Shell. Yeah. Oh, nope. Nick Shell's going to be on the bottom side. On the top side is Cameron King, his teammate. And behind him is going to be Nick Alford, and behind him will be Joe McKnight.
What if those guys are just happy sitting up there? Maybe they're going to try to plan something out where they're just going to try to stay out front and stay together as these guys start coming down pit road, or if they're going to be trying to work their way into the pack down on the bottom side as we see Tyler Millette there go by.
Yeah, I try to work my way down this low line like they're doing here.
It looks like that's where everybody's going. You've got to think that everybody's starting to plan out their entry to pit road here. I believe it's only Nick Shell that we still have at the top there trying to work his way in, and it looks like he finds his way home.
Yeah, so that front pack's going to be all single file now. I'm trying to flash back to see where we can find the second pack. Bill Hull, who was your pole winner tonight, he's down 19 spots, riding in the 20th position now.
And again, like we were talking about earlier, that could just be a chess move on his part. You never know.
Yeah, nothing to worry about. If I'm him,
As
I'm
you
not
start,
worried a bit.
yeah, if you're in this pack and you're 18th, 19th position, you're all single file. You're all just thinking about your pit road and when you're going to come down. The only thing the only thing you're going to be thinking about really is going to be who you're coming down pit road with, what your tire strategy is going to be, if there is any future cautions or anything else that needs to be adjusted, and what you need to change to make sure that you're faster on this next run here. You're not thinking about being in 18th position.
Yeah, we're showing here Kevin Powell leading this other pack here behind Tony Martin, Shane Parrish. They're going to be sitting 26th spot. Somebody, I believe, just went to pits, but I can't find out who it is. Again, you're not really worried about it. There's not like a ton of adjustments you're going to make here. You can make some small adjustments, but other than that, you're just keeping it steady, let it ride.
It's Daytona. We're trying to go straight, and then we're trying to go left, and then we're trying to go fast. There's not a whole lot of math to it in that regard. It's more about who you're trying to race with and how that's going to get you up to the front. Did we have our first pack go down pit road?
I'm trying to find out. Can't tell you. It looks like Andrew St. Cour's going to be down. Nick Atwood's going to be going down. Gary Clune, Kevin Thompson, Eric Anderson, Shane Parrish, Adam Gardner, Brian Dixon.
Adam Gardner coming off of pit road quick there.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anybody to take tires now. I would probably just take fuel, but maybe a different strategy. I don't know. You want to stay up with the pack. Your tire wear is not going to be a huge deal here, as much as you think it would be.
It definitely did look like we had some drivers there that took tires. So we see the brakes coming off for people coming down pit road. Jonathan Jennings there leading them in.
It looks like Shane Parrish is still sitting there in the pits, taking a little extra time. That's going to be Jamie Horan there. Bill Gentry stayed out. Nick Shell, Mike Leftwich, Chris Leftwich, Cameron King, Joe McKnight, Nick Alford, Stephen Wood, and Jonathan Jennings is going to be coming off pit road. See if the pack follows him pretty quickly here.
It's like he definitely went with that fuel-only strategy. It looks like maybe some of these other guys decided to take some tires.
Yeah, as long as that pack stays together, they're okay. Everybody's got to be on the same page.
I was gonna say, if you're Jonathan Jennings there, I'd be happy that you got off of pit road so quickly. But you got to also make sure that those guys behind you get caught back up so you can have a friend in the draft here.
Yeah, I believe I saw a lot of those guys take tires, so they're on the same strategy here, the same thing. So, and again, since the update with the iRacing and the draft, I'm not sure how these cars' tires are handling and how it's working out for them. It looks like your new leader is going to be Brent McCoy.
Brent McCoy going to be one of the newcomers, and he's followed by Tyler Millette and Bill Hull, who was your pole winner. He's got Eric Warman behind him and Adam Thompson right behind him.
They're coming up quick on Mike Leftwich, too. They'll pick him up. Mike Leftwich is the last car on the lead lap.
Your Mike, you just got to think that you want to get down on pit road here and not end up in any trouble.
Looks like Justin McMahon is coming down pit road. Hopefully he can fix some of that damage really quick. I'm not sure if he'll have the time. Daniel Wilkerson behind him. Michael Dow, Zachary Miller, Josh Coley. Looks like Wilkerson's off pit road quickly there.
Definitely just came in to grab some gas there. Has Mike Leftwich already come down pit road, or?
I believe he has. I don't know if this front group has. I don't think Brent McCoy and his group behind has, but I think Mike definitely has.
So if you're Brent, you're not even really unhappy to see Mike in front of you. You just want to keep pushing him forward so that you can make sure that your guys stay quick behind you while you're trying to come down here. They definitely have a strategy planned out as to how they want to come down pit road. And You have to think that at this point, if they stayed out for almost 2 full laps now, that it must be working the way that they want it to.
And that's if they stayed out. I don't remember these guys pitting yet. But you gotta think it's coming soon if they haven't.
Unless they quick stopped, which I don't really think that they did.
And Brent could just be sitting behind Mike too to save some tires or save some gas as well, so he's not really pushing as hard. He's using the draft for his advantage. Behind him is going to be Tyler Millette, followed by Bill Hull, who we just talked about, dropped back 19 spots. He's now back up to 3rd place. Eric Warman up 20 spots in 4th, and Adam Thompson up 20 spots in 5th.
Love to see that, a few of those guys. And one of the things you have to watch out for, especially at Daytona, I think we actually saw that again going to both NASCAR and iRacing. I think while we were under that Daytona 500 rain delay, you see guys start to come down pit road. While we were under that Daytona rain delay, we saw Carson Hocevar in his trailer getting on some iRacing, and he blew it up while he was running in about 4th position. He just stayed in the draft too long, kept his nose under somebody else's car too long in those trucks, and he blew it up. And that's one of the things that you're going to see as part of this new draft update that iRacing put in. It's very realistic to how these cars actually run. You have to jump out there and grab some clean air from time to time, or you will blow that thing up.
Yeah, I have done that a time or two, for sure. It kind of surprises you because you're watching your gauges, and you're like, I can't let it get too hot. And then it's like you look away for a second, and it just blows up on you. Because you kind of have a number in mind, like, I don't want to go over this number, but you just kind of get into it. You don't really think about it. Your car all of a sudden just blows up on you, and you're done.
Yeah, not going to be quite enough repair time to get that one fixed before the race starts. As we see, I believe this is going to be our final shuffle for these green flag pit stops. So we have Jeremy Richmond in the 97 car taking our first spot with Jamie Horn right behind him and Andrew St. Cor right behind him. It looks like we have Nick Atwood, Adam Gardner, Derek Clune, Jonathan Jennings, Nick Alford, Cameron King, and Nicholas Schell bringing up our top 10 as we come out of those green flag pit stops.
Yeah, they're going to go single file here too and just kind of space it out. But these guys are further back are really hoping either stack up or really praying for a caution. Because if they go single file, this could be like this for a long time.
Yeah, if you're those guys that ran that late pit strategy, that's going to work out really, really well for you, assuming there's a caution to kind of bunch you all back up and get everyone back moving. Otherwise, you're just praying that this thing goes green all the way to the very end. And realistically, we have our first caution. Oh, no. Oh, and he's back up in the wall.
They're not going to throw the caution flag for that, I believe. That they're going to count that as a single car accident. That was Bill Hull and Tyler Hall, Zachary Tyler. That is unfortunate.
Zachary Tyler up into the wall hard. Bill Hull up into the wall hard. That's our pole position winner. Unfortunately, looks like he got up into the wall hard. He might be calling it a night.
See if I can just jump back to that real quick. I might have to rewind here just a little bit. It's like Brent McCoy was low and Tyler Hall just came down just a little bit on him. Try to get a better camera for you here.
Yep.
Yeah, this car is done. Bill Hull, nothing he can do there.
Puts Bill Hull up into the wall hard. That's probably going to be a night ender for both of those guys. It's unfortunate to see.
And it could happen just like that, too. But that's Brian Dixon on the high side that's getting passed up there. That's going to put him a lap down as well. That just shows you how fast the draft is. The draft is so fast here.
And you see them trying to stack up. You see people start trying to move into the low line or the high line based on who that thinks faster. And it can happen in a split second. It's one of those things where it's you'd be like, yeah, maybe that guy came down a little bit, or oh, maybe that guy came up a little bit. But it's also just everyone trying to find the fast lane. So you can't really put a huge amount of fault on anyone there in particular, just because it is what it is.
Yeah, it's just how Daytona racing goes, man. It's the luck that you get.
It is the luck that you get. You have Kermit back again in the comments saying Alfred King and Shell are lined up. HLH Hot Lap Heroes. Kermit is in here supporting his guys. Love to see it. We do see Alfred and Shell there in the 7th and 8th positions.
It's like Cameron King's a little further back trying to make his way up to his boys.
And this is where you're starting to figure out where you want to be in this race. We got in the first pit stops out of the way. Everyone's starting to figure out their lane. Everyone's starting to figure out who they want to work with. So now you're really just trying to figure out where's the spot I want to be. Some of these guys, whether it's by convenience sake or whether it's by plan, maybe you want to be up towards the front. If you're Jamie Horner or Andrew St. Cyr or Richmond in the 97 car up there, Jeremy Richmond, you can't be too unhappy about running first, second, third. And you know you're very safe up there. But if you're these guys that, again, going back to our comment here, you have Alford or Shell or King, 10th, 11th, 12th back there. You have those guys that are teammates. They're 10th, 11th, 12th. They feel confident they can keep each other out of trouble. They can push really hard. You can't be unhappy about that going into as we get closer to this halfway point in the race.
Yeah, it's just kind of finding where you fit in, you know, just finding a good spot, staying there, just staying clean. You still got another 53 laps to go, and anything could happen, as you saw earlier with Brent McCoy and Zachary Tyler there. And Bill Hull, who was actually our pole winner, and I believe he is going to be out for the night. It shows he is still in pit lane. He might be trying to fix it up and trying to salvage what he can from that. I believe Zachary Tyler is going to be out for the night. Also out Brian Messer, Randy Belk, Jeffrey Engel.
All called themselves out for the night. Looks like maybe Bill's down there trying to get things figured out so maybe you can get back on the track and get some points. But we do still have Jeremy Richard was leading this race, and then we have Andrew St. Cyr go high, pushed by Nicholas Atwood, and it looks like maybe Richmond wants to move back just a little bit, back to those guys on that bottom lane.
Yeah, that's the two teammates working together really well up top between Atwood and St. Cyr. Right behind them, they got Adam Gardner as well, Gary Kloon. Trying to find their next teammate. I believe it's going to be Kevin Thompson back there in 7th place. And once he catches up, this will be 4 teammates running right there at the front with each other, with his St. Cyr, Atwood, Kloon, and Thompson.
You see Adam Gardner start to stick his nose out there with the 97 of Richmond coming in there. These guys are starting to figure out where they want to run and whether they want to be on the high side or the low side. We're starting to see these guys put some racing on.
I believe that Justin McMahon of that 24 car is actually going to be a lap down right now. So is Brian Dixon, as well as Daniel Wilkerson possibly.
We've been talking about Andrew St. Cyr leading up to this race, about how much he's improved and how fast he's been looking here recently. And being here in the first position and looking fast all evening has got to be really encouraging for him. Then Adam Gardner also has looked very, very fast all night long. So it's going to be very exciting to see where they end up this race. We've seen a lot of the top 5 not change too much other than obviously for those green flag pit stops. So this top 5 that we have currently, you've got to watch out for as this race goes on.
That was a good run by Gardner there. He's going to be your first place driver right now. Actually, Cameron King, the 92, is in the lead lap. He's going to take over first place on the high side, pushing Brian Dixon up there. Gardner working the low side with McMahon. St. Croix behind him, hoping they can catch up.
Got King, Alfred, and Shell. Again, we were going back to Kermit's comment here just a few minutes ago. You got those teammates lined up, and they look hot. They moved up from the 8th, 9th, and I believe Shell was back there at about the 11th spot, and now they moved up to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Yeah, shout out to Kermit for calling that one in the comments.
Looking like that bottom lane has a lot of heat right now as we see that top lane start to fall back.
Yeah, something we talked about 2 weeks ago too, is picking lines and which one you want to go with. We heard St. Croix talk about how the draft is a little different, has a different feeling on the top side and the low side. But yeah, I know the outside of this track is about 2.51 miles around the wall, but if you track the yellow line, it is actually about 2.47 miles. So you're saving a little bit of distance by running the low side. It's not a lot of distance, but anywhere you can cut time and cut distance, it's always helpful.
And Daytona's not going to be one of those tracks where you see a whole lot of tire wear difference from the top side of the bottom side compared to some other tracks like, for example, Homestead, where you're going to see a huge difference in tire wear for guys that run the high side consistently versus guys that run the low side consistently. You're not going to see too much of that difference here at Daytona. It's going to be more where you feel comfortable and where you want your car to run or where your teammate is. Again, it's just that, especially at this point in the race where you got 53 down, 47 to go, it's about finding where your teammates are and where you feel like you can make a fast run.
Yeah, and that Hot Lap Heroes team is really pushing hard here. They're going to be challenged by the Beast Mode Motorsports team between St. Croix, Atwood, and Clune. Kevin Thompson, I see him back there as well. Gardner trying to put his name in the mix, taking first place on that high side. St. Croix is a little loose there.
Yeah, it looks like he did get a little bit loose there. Again, it seems like maybe the high side coming back with some speed. These guys working well together. Huge push out of St. Croix there on Gardner. Again, St. Croix again getting a little bit loose there. Again, it's one of those things you have to watch out for, especially here at Daytona. Is your car going to be good getting pushed? Is it going to be good being the pusher? We go on board here with St. Croix. It looks like his car just does not want to be sitting there right now.
That's the hardest thing too, is pushing somebody perfectly, because you don't want to wreck them, you don't want to upset their car, so you have to be square with the bumper of their car when you give them a push.
If you're St. Croix, you have to be thinking about here if it would be better to get down there on the front of that bottom line. Obviously, there's a lot of teammates down there working together, so you don't want to upset that apple cart and maybe put yourself in trouble. But if you're in this position right here and you know that you're going to be a little loose while you're trying to push, you have to start thinking about maybe some other options so you don't put yourself in some trouble. And we have that Gardner St. Croix Atwood team up there up top pushing hard. And then we have the Hot Lap Heroes down there in the bottom lane that are just pushing each other like crazy, that are looking to move their way forward.
Flash over here to Nick Atwood, teammate of St. Croix. He's going to be rounding his bumper. Look at his cockpit cam too to see what he's seeing. And I think what you're seeing here with St. Croix falling back like that is St. Croix is actually using a little bit of brake coming out of these turns, which is allowing his car to fall back to Atwood, so he's actually getting a bump there. So you're using your brake to essentially go faster. I bet if I went to
Trying to use that brake to make sure that he stays right on top of the draft there. And I just saw him jump up a couple spots. Let's go back and check on Jonathan Jennings, who's moved up to the 4th spot. Moved between the top lane and the bottom line very skillfully there to get all behind St. Croix, Atwood, and Clune. Moved up 4 spots right there from the 8th position.
Yeah, and leading that high side on the right side is going to be Justin McMahon driving the Group 6 car. And he's going to be, I believe, the first car a lap down. So he's really fighting for to get his lap back here. If there is a caution, he knows that he's going to get his lap back. maybe he can fix some of that damage on the front end. It doesn't look like it's affecting his car too much.
He's been looking fast. And we have Jonathan Jennings down there on that low side. But he's got the 91 of Atwood in front of him. So we've shuffled him up just a little bit. We got St. Core and Gary Clune there up on top. St. Core down there putting a block on Nicholas Atwood. Really riding between the lanes well there. Maybe he's practicing for what he's going to do as this race comes to a close.
Boy, Gary Clune taking the lead there with a big push from McMahon.
Again, McMahon is going to be your first car a lap down, but he was trying to get some damage repaired on that last caution. So he knows that he has a fast car. He's just trying to get his lap back right now. Obviously going to be in that lucky dog position to get his lap back. But right now, if you're him, you've just got to be feeling pretty good about yourself. While also, unfortunately for others, praying for a caution.
Yeah, and I think if you're a lap down as well, you're kind of hoping that McMahon makes a pass on Clune here, so that way the next car lap down would be, I believe that might be Shane Parrish back there. So Shane Parrish, just a few cars back, he's probably hoping that McMahon gets in front, then a caution comes out, so he can get his lap back as well.
But so interesting to see, and that's the way things go here at Daytona. You have these cars that are a lap down, that are still out there racing with the rest of these guys, racing with the best of them. So it's going to be exciting to see how that translates as we kind of come down out of here. But Gary Clune's still leading the race. Got the car, Justin McMahon right behind him, a lap down. You got Jamie Horn, or Andrew St. Core, excuse me, is going to be your second place driver. And then he's got the 66 car behind him, also a lap down.
Sitting in P4 right here is going to be Jeremy Richmond. Trying to see who the 191 car is on the high side of him. For the 19, I'm not sure which number that is. That's going to be Zachary
Jeremy
Miller.
Richmond been looking fast all night in the 4th position. You got Nick Atwood right behind him in the 5, and Jonathan Jennings made huge moves just a few laps ago to get himself out of the 8th position and right up to the front. We see him start to check up down there on the low side, coming back into Nick Atwood, separating those cars out just a little bit.
Just saw Shane Parrish take a big bump up there from the 19.
Still have Gary Clune out here in front being pushed by Andrew St. Core. We have Shane Parrish up there who's fighting to be that first car. You have two fights up here at the front of this race right now. You have guys that are wanting to be back on the lead lap, and then you have guys that are trying to win the race here with 62 laps down. Gary Clune, St. Core, Jamie Horn, Jeremy Richmond, and newcomer McCoy in the 29 car, bringing up your top 5. But we also have 2 lap down cars up here who are fighting for their lives.
Oh, and that's not good for McMahon. He wants to be in front of that 66 of Shane Parrish. Big bump coming here. Oh, they're going to accordion.
Oh, that's a big checkup. That's a big checkup.
Wow. That was close.
Not really anything that the 24 could do there of the 11 of Clune coming back. Good job by him to keep it straight.
That's going to probably cause a little more damage, but Clune's still going to have the lead here, being the first car in the lead lap.
Good to see that come down. Going over to the comments, we have Kenny Grant saying, didn't know y'all were on YouTube. I've been waiting on TikTok. Yeah, Kenny, on Thursday nights, we're over here broadcasting for Doghouse. For those that don't know, myself and John are part of a company called Nap Daddy Racing. Nap Daddy Racing is a racing team and a website that designs templates and designs for all of your car needs. And we are also a YouTube and TikTok channel of our own. A lot of times, especially on Mondays or over the weekends, you will find us over on TikTok streaming our own races. Myself as the somewhat useless color commentary, and Jonathan behind the wheel and trying to get things done. Again, Jonathan's the actual racing talent here, and I am the color commentary, or if we want to be honest, the good looks of the organization.
Yeah, you can say that. Sorry with me.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I don't feel like I look too great right now with this little fever that I got.
Yeah. Out here running a 101 fever and still looking good. Proud of you, buddy.
Just in my Jordan era, as people are starting to come down pit road right here, I'm trying to figure out this Shane Parrish slamming on brakes to get in. Behind him, Gary Clune, St. Cour. That's Adam Gardner pulling up right behind him as well. Brett McCoy is going to be your new leader.
And for those guys, you have to think that they're at the point where they are short pitting just a little bit. They don't necessarily need to be coming down here, but maybe they're using this as a strategy to be able to run this thing to the very end so that they don't have to stop. If there is another one, again, as you were saying, tire wear not being a huge deal here at Daytona. Maybe they're just looking to short pit it so they can get their lap back and find themselves right back in the middle as this race goes late.
Yeah, this probably like a 40 lap fuel window. They can get some fuel and be good for the rest of the race. Hopefully it goes green the whole time. If I was a betting man, I would say that there was going to be a caution with about 5 to go. But that's just me. That's normally how the super speedway races go.
I would say also as a betting man that I would not bet against you, but we do find ourselves here with some new leaders. We have Eric Warman leading the pack, followed by Jamie Horn, Jeremy Richmond behind him. And we have McCoy back there in the 29 car. In fourth position, Brent McCoy out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have Anderson right behind him. Oh, as we see some cars cut down to go to pit road. Eric Anderson included.
It's like Jamie Horn, Gary Armijo. A lot of guys coming down. Joe McKnight's going to be in that. The Leftwich father-son duo, the Hot Lap Heroes team. Eric Warman decided to stay out there. Him and Brent McCoy working well together. Mike Hayes in third place. Kind of far behind where Eric Warman is right now. They're going to be about 14 seconds behind him.
You see these guys pushing hard, trying to get back up to those lead positions. And who knows what their plan is. Maybe they're planning to try to stay out as long as possible, try to put as much time on these guys as they can. Maybe they're planning on coming down pit road next time by, and there's just no chance to catch up. Who knows? I do see some likes coming in, so whoever's throwing the likes on the stream, we sure appreciate it and appreciate the love. And we have B-Mac in there saying, number 12, where did you disappear to?
Josh Coley sliding in. I don't know if that's going to be a black flag or not. He was pumping the brakes trying to get in there. Tyler Millett's behind him. It's like Bill Gentry's a guy we haven't talked about a lot tonight. Coming in pit road 2, about to make his exit. That's going to make Mike Hayes your new leader. So I believe Brent McCoy and Eric Warman are pitting.
We have Mike Hayes out there, followed by Wood in the 42 car. Then we have the Thompsons in the 71 and 6 car. Adam Thompson in the 3rd position and Kevin Thompson in the 4. Following that up, you're going to go back to the number 2 car of Tony Martin and Eric Warman, about 19 seconds behind in the 6th position. And these green flag pit stops have really started to shuffle things up here.
Yeah, I feel like these guys have to be pitting soon here.
Realistically, they shouldn't need gas just yet. They should be able to stay out for another few laps, but you have to wonder about the strategy thought process there of if they decide to stay out. A, how long are they going to actually be able to stay out there? And B, how is that going to benefit them for the end of the race as we're coming up here on only 30 to go?
Yeah, see, here's the thing. They're going to have to pit at some time, but right now it looks like they're pulling away from that group of Warman and McCoy. That's going to be Atwood, St. Cour, Gary Clune, 3 teammates plus Adam Gardner right there. They're going to try to catch up with Eric Warman and Brett McCoy. They can work together. They can catch back up, and they'll probably be the leaders of this race.
And again, at this point in the race, there still is going to be 30 to go. You have Stephen Wood coming down here on pit road, followed by Adam Thompson. So it looks like these guys are starting to come down pit road. As this shuffling is going on, you never know what's going to happen, especially as we come down to last 20, last 10 to go. All this shuffling is going to be so exciting to see how this actually shapes up as we see these guys actually come down to the end here. So you have Warman down there on the bottom, followed by, I believe that's McCoy. He's got Brent McCoy. So those are going to be your only 2 that haven't been down pit road yet. I believe they're probably going to be coming down here this next time by. And you have Atwood, St. Cour, Gary Clune, Adam Gardner, and Nicholas Alford. They're going to be up there. Those guys were one of the first to come down pit road, I believe.
I think McCoy and Warman actually snuck down pit road a little earlier. And if that's so, these guys are in a really, really good spot right now.
They were able to sneak down earlier. They should have the gas to actually make it to the end. And so if you're looking at this from a realistic perspective here, you've got 28 laps to go. You've got your top 10 that's only at the furthest back about 3-4 seconds now behind. If you're those guys, you're not really going to be that concerned at this point. You've got a pretty good pack put together. I believe that one's going to be led by Alford in the 15 car. If you're these guys, you're able to kind of take some time, set it up, figure out exactly what you want to do. You've got 27 laps to go, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, these guys
if you're in the
4 seconds behind, they'll catch up with these guys.
Yeah, as long as they can get things figured out, then they're going to be fine. But if you're back towards that 20th spot, where you're about 20 seconds behind, at this point you have to start considering that maybe you want to start praying for a caution.
Yeah, I know a lot of these guys are definitely hoping a caution comes out soon here. Justin McMahon, Daniel Wilkerson are back on the lead lap now, but I believe it's because they did not pit yet. I'm not entirely sure. I may have missed that.
Either way, if you're them, you're out there holding on for dear life.
Flash over here to Mike Leftwich and teammate behind him, Jonathan Jennings. In that 25 car. Followed by another teammate, Chris Simon, the winner here 2 weeks ago at a Clash.
Cutting in here on is that about the 10th spot?
Yes, looks like 12th for Mike Leftwich, 14th for Jennings, and 16th for Chris Simon right now. But that's just because they're too wide.
Going over to our comments here, we have Sean Thompson saying, "Come on, Logano, wreck." Sean, I think that there's going to be some people out here that are definitely praying for that accident. And then we have B-Max saying, "Oh, he's back up there with a red heart," referring to the number 12 car of St. Cour. Yeah, glad to see your guys back up there. St. Cour's been looking very fast this evening. Right in there in the second position behind Nick Atwood. Got Gary Clune right behind him. Adam Gardner right behind him in the 4th spot. Eric Warman in the 5. And then we have the newcomer McCoy in the 6th position. Sean Thompson saying my son Kevin needs a yellow. If you're those guys that are back there in that 20th position or so, you have to really start crossing your T's and crossing your toes, hoping for that caution, because you need to get hooked back up to this front group here. It's at Daytona again. If you're one of these cars that's about 4 seconds behind, you're not super concerned at this point. If you're starting to approach that 20-second mark, you do start to want to think about hoping that there's a caution.
There's two Thompsons. I'm trying to figure out which Thompson we're looking for here.
Sean was referring to Kevin.
Kevin. Oh, he said my son Kevin. I'm sorry. Again, with this sickness, my headspace is not there right now. I believe Kevin Thompson's one we saw doing pretty well last week, or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, at the Clash, and got caught up in an incident, pulled him back. But I thought he had a really good shot to win that one.
Kevin's been looking really fast here. Even back in the Clash that we ran a few weeks back, he was looking really good. So if I'm him, I'm hoping for a caution for sure. You want to get back up to the front without having to work so hard, without having to burn him up. But this pack behind him looks like they're really kind of in pretty good set moving forward. They just have to start thinking about 23 to go. It's like, okay, it's go time. We have to start making something go here.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be a caution at some point. It looks like these guys are shifting around here at the front, too.
Again, going back to the point that we were talking about earlier, you're going to start seeing these guys who have been in the same draft for a while. You're going to see them start to shuffle up just a little bit, probably because they don't want to blow their car up while they're in that draft. But none of these guys are too concerned about their position just now.
This kind of shows the split between that front pack and the second pack here.
So we have that top 6 there, and then we have that backpack there. Or that second pack, excuse me. We have them led by Alfred in the 15 car and Shell in the 7th and 8th position. They have been closing that gap. That was about a 4-second gap about 2 laps ago. And now that is down to less than 2 seconds, and they are coming in hot.
Yeah, as long as they stay in a line here and stay clean, they should be able to catch up with these guys pretty quickly.
And that's one of the things you have to look out for, too. When these guys are in that single file draft, you got to keep it straight. You got to keep it moving forward. Daniel Wilkerson here coming down pit road, or coming off of pit road with Justin McMahon right behind him. There's your guys that are really praying for a caution. They're going to be the first and second car a lap down, but they have some. They're going to be the ones that have the freshest tires and the most gas. So they're hoping for late cautions and a lot of them.
And I'm sure they'll see them here.
Still have Gary Kloon leading this thing, followed by Adam Gardner, Eric Warman. And then McCoy behind him in the 29 car, Andrew St. Cyr in the 12. In the 5th position, Nicholas Atwood in the 91. Bringing up the end of that train from 1st to 6th. And then right behind them, we have Alfred in the 15, Shell in the 58 car, Aramijo in the 7 car, and Leftwich in the 13, who are now well under 2 seconds behind, closing that gap down to about 1 3/4 seconds that last time by. John, if you're these guys in this lead pack here, what are you thinking if you're, let's just use for an example, Eric Warman there in the 3rd position, 19 to go. What are you thinking?
Now, Eric Warman is actually in my favorite spot to be in right now. If I had to be in a spot with 19 to go, I want to be in 3rd or 4th place. Because you don't have a lot of responsibility. You're not trying to push the guy in front of you too hard. You know, you're just trying to, you're floating, as they say. I think that's a hockey term. You're just floating, trying to get by. And then with about 5 to go, that's when you can really make your move. And the good part about it is that you can be the one that starts your outside lane by yourself. Usually that second car might not try to start the outside lane, but if you're third in line, you could start the outside lane, have somebody come behind you, hit a side draft in the second car, and then go on to win the race. Just between turn 4 and the start-finish line.
And that's where things usually start to get exciting. And for those of our viewers that are hockey fans, and notice that maybe John used a little hockey reference there, for those that are choosing to tune into us instead of the Canada and USA face-off championship match, which we want to be the first to say that we appreciate you being here instead of tuning into that. Canada and USA are currently tied 1-1 with about 18 minutes left in the second period. I do know that we have some Canadian brothers here in the race tonight, so we want to wish them the absolute best of luck in this race. But as a couple of American fellas here bringing you this broadcast tonight, go USA.
Yeah, and if you chose to tune into us instead of that game tonight, then you must really hate hockey.
Because that series has been electric.
Yeah.
I think they dropped the mitts 3 times in the first 5 minutes the last time they played.
What do they say? You go to a boxing match and a hockey game breaks out?
That's what these guys have been doing. I also believe that the American team on their last win played Freebird as soon as the final call went out.
Iconic. On the Daytona 500 week, too. Iconic.
Well, enough about hockey, even though we do have Kermit back in the comments saying USA. Can't say I disagree with you, brother.
Somebody would disagree.
We do go back to
St. Cour.
What's that now?
Somebody that would disagree is St. Cour, our Canadian friend running in 5th place right now.
Speaking of our Canadian friends, we do have Andrew St. Cour there in 5th place. Been looking incredibly fast all night. And like you said, with 16 to go, being in 5th place, that's really kind of a money spot.
Yeah, he's not worried a bit.
You're in the perfect spot to be able to jump in behind somebody. You're in the perfect place to have somebody jump out behind you. You're just really waiting for people to start making their first move. And from experience here, watching Daytona, you're really going to start seeing these guys start to make their moves. Usually, as I say that, we see them start to get a little squirrely there. Normally, you start to see them start making their moves within about 10 laps to go. We do see them start to form that top line there. And that is going to be Adam Gardner with Eric Warman right on his tail. As I say that, Eric Warman jumps out to the top side, waiting for McCoy to come catch up.
Yeah, Warman's got to drag that brake just a little bit. That's probably what he's doing there to get him to catch up. Oh, this is where the racing's going to get good, folks.
This is where it's going to start getting good. We have Adam Gardner leading this thing with Gary Clune right behind him, St. Cour behind him, and Nick Atwood in the 4th position is going to be your bottom lane. Eric Warman with McCoy behind him, and I believe that's the 13 of Chris Leftwich right behind them. And Nick Shell, we have that second group has caught all the way up here. And they are coming in and getting involved in this race. They're going to be down there on that bottom side.
Yeah, Jamie Horn's
Got
caught
Shell
back up
in the
too.
58. What's that?
Jamie Horn's caught back up too with his teammates, and he's trying to make a run for the front. Behind him looks like Cameron King, possibly? That is Cameron King, and then Jonathan Jennings behind him.
These guys, the second pack has caught all the way up. We have Kermit in the comments saying winter is coming. I wasn't a Game of Thrones fan myself, but I caught your reference, sir. The thing is one of the things that just makes me giddy for the last 13 laps of this race is that all of these, we've talked about all of these drivers tonight, how fast they've looked or about a move that they've made. So all of these guys have been planning all these moves out as this race has gone on. And so it's when you are going to start to see one of these drivers make their move and maybe someone else had a different idea, you're going to start seeing trouble happen. Either way, it's going to be an incredibly exciting 12 to go.
I'm just going to say it, man. I hope you're enjoying this camera work.
You've done a wonderful job tonight. I'll give you your flowers while we're here on stream.
Thank you. I am working really hard to figure some of this stuff out, and I think we've made leaps and bounds, but I want to give a special shout out to our friend Eric Warman, who actually provided these camera setups for us tonight. Eric's actually running right here. Give credit where credit's due. Mr. Warman provided us with these setups tonight so we could use them. I think they are fantastic, so thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. They do look wonderful. But again, we appreciate everyone that's in the stream here tuned in with us. We've got 20 folks in here with us right now. So those of you that are just joining or whether you've been here the whole night, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. If you want to subscribe to the Doghouse Racing channel or leave a like, we would really, really appreciate it. Or if you want to sound off in the comments, let us know your favorite driver. Let us know who you're rooting for, as we've got 11 here to go. Who you think's looked fast. If you think that me or John has sounded especially good or especially bad up here in the booth tonight, whatever your comment is, we got 11 to go here. I'll be trying to shout them out here as we close this thing out. We appreciate all of y'all from the bottom of our hearts for tuning in with us tonight. So let's see how this thing ends up with 10 to go. Got Adam Gardner still leading this thing with Gary Clune right behind him and Andrew St. Cyr all there on that top lane. And it looks like that bottom lane we're going to have McCoy and Alford.
Trying to see, that's going to be 15, and Nick Alford behind him is going to be, can't see the number right now. That's 58 of Nick Shell. Hot Lap Heroes right there. Where is his team?
Those Hot Lap Hero guys have done a really good job of sticking together. Done a really good job of racing together. Going to be exciting to see how those guys run their season this year, because they've done a really good job of keeping their teamwork moving. Oh, we see him start to get shuffled around just a little bit. Is that Warman that we have all the way up on the outside looking for some help?
Yeah, somebody's got to get behind him, or he's got to jump in, either one, try to hold his position. And looks like St. Cyr's got some distance between them, too.
St. Cyr does have some distance. It looked like maybe Chris Leftwich was wanting to jump out and help him. They're getting a little squirrely down there on the bottom lane.
Yeah, Clune was going to hang him out to dry for a second, but thought better of it. Came back up to the top. He's going to pick up his teammate, and that's a good choice by Clune to come back up, pick up St. Cyr. It's like Leftwich is making a big run. They're bumping down there.
They are bumping. That top lane picked up a ton of steam. What a push by that top lane. What a move by Chris Leftwich and Nicholas Atwood there to kind of save each other. You have Chris Leftwich dropping in behind Eric Warman down there on that bottom lane now. We have these guys are starting to make their moves.
Yeah, they're going to be very fast down there, too. That separation that came between Atwood and St. Cyr here at the 12 and 91. That's going to make some progress for, it's like Warman, Leftwich, and McCoy on the bottom.
So if Adam Gardner and Gary Clune there on that top side, in that bottom lane, we have Eric Warman and Chris Leftwich. Andrew St. Cyr up there in the third position. Just got passed by Eric Warman, but he's up there on that top side. Andrew St. Cyr's look very fast on that top lane. We have McCoy and Anderson and Richmond behind them closing out our top 10 here with 7 to go. What an exciting race here we have. And we were talking about it earlier, but this is really where you start to see those chess moves come into play. This is where you're going to see those guys that are trying to find the right teammate. At this point, you're plotting out how you want to finish this race. You want to see who you want behind you, who you want in front of you, who you think you can get past, who you think you need behind you to make sure that you can close this thing out. You have Gardner and Clune on the top of the track. They've been working together really, really well as this race has gone on. We got to see them get loose. We get loose.
Oh, that's warming. That's around.
Oh, that's warm and that's around. That's so unfortunate.
I'm trying to find him. He is down in the infield. No caution's going to come out from that.
It looks like you said that's so unfortunate. He's looked so fast tonight.
That one hurts.
Seemed like me. That hurts to see it. It seemed like he was doing some pushing on somebody and maybe they just couldn't handle it and came back down.
Let's see if I can shuffle to it just really quick what happened here. Oh, left foot just got a little bump in him.
Well, like Warman just got a little bit loose at the wrong time, and that's unfortunate to see because you can never know at Daytona when's the right time to get loose and when's the wrong time to get loose. And oh, we see someone up there in the wall on the high side.
Is that Cameron King back there that I see?
Looks like he just got shuffled out of that high line. He got pushed all the way back. Looks like he might have some help back there to work his way back up here with 5 to go.
Yeah, that's going to be a teammate right behind him, Nick Shell. He might be able to help push a little bit further to the front. Chris Simon, our other race winner from the Clash, hanging back in 16th place, might have a little William Byron strategy up his sleeve here.
Again, at Daytona, you never really know. Again, we have BMAC here in the comments. Come on, Andrew, get up there. Go Twisted Axel. St. Corbin looking really, really great tonight.
St. Corbin's in a really good spot, sitting back in that P3 spot.
We've seen Gardner and Clune work really well together here in the 1 and 2 spot. They've been working together for about the last 20 laps at this point. So you're wondering, are they going to keep working together? Is one going to push the other? When does the other one duck out? Really interesting to see who decides to go with who. Because we do have, that top lane has about your first 7 positions, I believe. And after that, you're going to be moving back to our bottom lane.
Yeah, that bottom lane's been held off by Jeremy Richmond right now. Currently sitting in P8.
Jeremy Richmond, who has some laps led tonight. So, oh, and we see him start to shuffle. Whoa, and he squeezes back in.
That was Jonathan Jennings there. What a move.
Jonathan Jennings and Jamie Horn with a squeeze move to go below the yellow and get back in line of the century. What a move that was. And here's where we're going to see him start to shuffle. So we have Gary Clune make his first move on Adam Gardner, take the lead with McCoy pushing him. Still have that 12 of Andrew St. Corby in the second car in line up on the top. Nick Atwood pushing him. We have Alfred down on the bottom in the 15.
Big
and they're
wreck.
spinning.
Big wreck.
Everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off at somebody else on the racetrack before this race is over with.
What in the world happened? Well, we called it.
There's your big one, ladies and gentlemen.
Knew it was coming. Jeez, and it looks like all those Hot Lap Heroes guys are involved in that. Chris Simon possibly. Leftwich is involved. Let's take a break and see if we can find out exactly what happened there. We'll be
right back.
All right. Coming back here, I believe we're going to be riding along with Nicholas Atwood. Trying to figure out what happened here. Looks like he just got turned from behind there.
So maybe he's just got a little push that wasn't the push he needed at the time.
Oh.
Yep. It's the 97 pushing the 29. Nothing anybody could do.
And then we get flashback to this move between Jennings earlier, right before this. I believe this is where they caught it. Oh, this is part of the wreck still. So it looks like Jennings is going to be alright. Got pushed off the track, but I think this car's going to be able to carry on. Jeremy Richmond's going to be sitting in the pits. It's like the 58 car is going to be blowing up, sitting in there. Chris
That's
Leftwich
really
in the pits.
It's unfortunate to see a lot of these cars down there that are on pit road. A lot of these guys looked incredibly fast all night long. Nick Atwood, Nick Shell, Nick Alford, all those Hot Laps Heroes guys looked very fast. Like Zachary Miller, been in the running all night long. Jeremy Richmond led laps tonight. So it's tough to see those guys out on pit road. It looks like Jeremy Richmond is going to be able to get it back out there and get it moving. I believe he is going to be a lap down. Chris Leftwich being able to get it back out there. So unfortunate for those guys, but happy to see them being able to get back out there and get some laps back on the track. Eric Warman involved in a little spin earlier this evening, back out on the track as well.
Well, that's going to leave Gary Clune as your race leader right now. He's going to be on the high side, starting out. Sitting.
Is this going to be under green, white, checkered, or is this going to be standard 3 to go here?
I think this is going to be a green, white checkered.
Green, white, checkered.
Yes.
So we're going to throw the green flag initially with 3 to go. The green flag will still be in the air for the 2 to go. And as soon as the white flag comes down, that will be the end of the race, assuming that there is any sort of caution following that.
Trying to see if the pace car has the lights on. Nope, no lights on, so we're going green here.
Going green here, led by Adam Gardner, followed by Clune, St. Cyr, McCoy, King, Jennings, Anderson, Horn, Simon, and Leftwich make up your top 10 here. Anything can happen with the lights off here. They are going to green here next time by.
Yeah, remember the leader has control of the restart as long as he's inside that Geico restart zone.
The Geico restart zone, exactly. Pace car is down. 3 to go. Exciting finish for sure. We see the bottom lane check up. Gary Clune get off to a big jump.
Yep.
Gary Clune pushed by Andrew St. Cyr. Andrew St. Cyr goes to the bottom lane. Adam Gardner behind him. McCoy and Jonathan Jennings behind him.
Jennings trying to start that high side. Oh, that looks like
We see a car go low.
That's Joe McKnight that went to the infield there.
No caution thrown. Still 2 to go. Gary Clune still lead the race. Andrew St. Cyr right behind him. Adam Gardner trying to get his nose in where he can. McCoy right behind him, and Jonathan Jennings with Jamie Horn right behind him. Who's going to be the first to make their move?
It's a lot of fog settling in over here. Our blimp cam's not going to be working too well for us.
Andrew St. Cyr still on the back bumper of Gary Clune. Gardner right behind him in third place. Jonathan Jennings moved up to fourth, and Jamie Horn in fifth.
It's like Gary Armijo on the apron there is going to get passed by these cars on the top side.
It's like Cameron King got left out to dry on the high
Somebody's
side. We have
wrecking.
him spinning out again in the back.
No caution still.
No caution still. These guys are out of the way. Gary Clune still in the lead. Andrew St. Cyr right behind him. Can anybody make a move on Gary Clune?
This is where they're going to make it right here. Somebody's got to make a move. I'm like to see St. Cyr's going to jump to that inside. No, he's going to push his teammate to the win.
He's going to push him to the win. Gary Clune bringing it home in front. Andrew St. Cyr right behind him. Adam Gardner bringing up your third spot. Jonathan Jennings is going to be fourth. McCoy fifth. Jamie Horn sixth. Eric Anderson seventh. Christopher Simon eighth. Adam Thompson in ninth. And Tyler Millette in 10th place.
And congrats to Gary.
Gary Clune, Andrew St. Cyr, and Adam Gardner. I believe that's 1, 2, 3 teammates.
I don't think Gardner is part of that team, but looks like... Well, I know Clune and St. Cyr are teammates. I was looking for Kevin Thompson, wherever he was at. I know some cars went spinning there on the end, but let's give it over to Gary so he can burn it down.
And a huge congratulations to Gary. He had an incredibly fast car all night. Been right up there at the front. Been leading the race. I venture to say he probably has 20 laps led.
Yeah, he led a lot of them. It looks like he might be stuck on the apron. Be sure to ask him about that.
You celebrate your way, Gary.
That's just a signature thing he does.
Yep. B-Mac, we have in the comments saying, way to go, Gary, Andrew, and Adam. Absolutely way to go for all of them. You're about to hear our interviews with those top three guys. And then Kermit saying, well done, broadcast team. Kermit, we appreciate it, sir. Means a lot to us. Thank you very much.
Try to get the results up for you here.
We got our results here in front of us. We do have all of our 1, 2, 3 in the waiting room waiting for us, so I'll try to move through this here pretty quickly. But we do have Gary Clune bringing home the #1 spot with an incredible run. Andrew St. Cyr right behind him in the second spot. Adam Gardner, in third position. Jonathan Jennings is going to bring up your fourth position. Brent McCoy in fifth. Jamie Horn is your sixth. Eric Anderson is your seventh place finisher tonight. Christopher Simon is your eighth place. Adam Thompson in ninth. Tyler Millette 10th. Cameron King 11th. Kevin Thompson in your 12th position. Eric Warman's 13th. Mike Leftwich is 14. Josh Culley is your 15th. And Stephen Wood bringing up 16th. Bill Gentry 17th. Joe McKnight 18th.
We do have these guys sitting here in the waiting room. Let's go ahead and bring up our third place finisher, Adam Gardner. Just about to read the names wrong here. Adam Gardner, third place finisher. You got us in the booth here, Adam?
Gotcha.
Yeah, man, tell us about what happened there at the end and flashing to the high side. What were you seeing? What was the move there for you?
Yeah, they're on the last lap. I hated to see that yellow come out there late. I was really hoping we were going to get at least to the white flag and race it out. Flag to flag there, green, but that was a lot of fun. But yeah, then once we took the white there, I knew Jennings was going to come with a run, and I figured I could try to block it and take see if I could use the momentum from that to try to carry around. But overall, I'm happy with third, considering we started deep and hell of a race. I'll take it.
Yeah, I actually think you're also tied for our biggest mover, or up 24 spots. So you started, 27th place and moved up to third place tonight, which is a big jump. Anything special with the setup that you're trying there, or was just finding the right teammates and right people to go with?
Definitely the right teammates, right people to go with. When I started the race, I was thinking, all right, starting deep in the field, 27th. probably going to lay back and take it easy and just try to protect the car. And then something happened at the start where it seemed like people got kind of checked up and scattered out, and we just kind of decided to stay where I was at and ride because it was all single file there. And then coming towards the end of the stage, started to make up some spots and pick up some lanes, and then get the stage win there at the end of stage 2, coming to the line there, just kind of practicing for the end of the race. Didn't work out the same at the end, but overall, I'm happy.
Oh yeah. Next week we're moving to Atlanta. How do you feel about that coming up?
Love-hate relationship. Same style of racing, but it is a little bit tighter, so it can be a little bit more frustrating, I guess would be the right word. But overall, similar results. I'd be happy with that. And strong day, clean day. Car kept the car clean overall, and much better the finished result than the Clash a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we had one caution the entire night, and that was it. There was a few times a caution could have came out, but I think you might have been glad to see it stay green there at the end.
Yeah. I wish that, guys, like I said, I wish that one yellow we had didn't end up coming out, but
Yeah. So
can't be disappointed with its finish in third to open the season. I took a couple of seasons off for a little bit there, and this is definitely a good way to come back.
absolutely. Well, we're happy to have you back. Before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out or anybody you want to thank while you're here?
I want to thank all the guys over there at Team Boost Mode. Again, great teamwork tonight, and we always work really good together, especially on tracks like this. Thank Daniel for putting this all together, setting it up so that way we can all have fun out here. Thank you guys for bringing it to everybody. I'm sure everyone enjoyed watching it. Everyone that's watching, appreciate you guys too. That's what makes it half the fun is knowing we're putting on a good show for you guys. And then as far as what's on the car, I want to give a big thanks and shout out to Base 8 Limousine for all the support they give me. And if you're in the New England area, Boston area, anything like that, you need a limo for any kind of occasion, give them a call. They'll take great care of you, and I trust them with anything I go to do.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it. Good luck to you next week.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
See you, man. I never picked up on the Boston accent thing until he said that right there, the New England. And now I hear
Well,
it.
if I ever have a limousine need in Boston, I will be sure to call Adam.
Love a good New England accent. Coming up next is our second place finisher, Andrew St. Cour. Andrew, you got us up in the booth? Andrew might have us on mute here still. Well, we did see Andrew last week, who was I believe he finished second place as well. Andrew, you got us up in the booth? Still don't have Andrew here. Let's try to move on to Gary Clune real quick. Hey, Gary, you got us a copy in the booth? Hmm.
So they might not want to talk to us.
Yeah, maybe not. We're both showing that he's muted right now. Him and Gary both. I am off mute.
Gary and Andrew, you got Hunter up in the booth. Either y'all be able to hear us right now. I think we might just be having some microphone issues tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Well, while we're trying to figure this out, why don't you go ahead and give us an ad read, and I will try to figure this out in the back end here for a second.
Be happy to do it. So first of all, again, as everyone knows, as you've seen in the top right of the screen and the top left of the screen all night long, this is the Group 6 Cup Series, but brought on by the Doghouse Racing League. And so we are very thankful to Group 6. At Group 6, they are a leading creative agency. We're passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Our mission is to help businesses of all size enhance their online presence. Explore our wide range of services at group6inc.com. That is GROUP, the number 6, INC.com, and see how we can drive your digital success. Special thanks to Group 6 for being the series sponsor for this year. We could not thank them enough for that. And then following that up, as you just saw in the top left of the screen there, we are also brought to you by Shoney's. That was actually in the top right. I got my directions mixed up. Doghouse Racing is very proud to be brought to you by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, bringing you delicious food and friendly service since 1947.
Well, I believe that we got Gary, possibly. Gary, you got a copy? It shows that he is off mute.
Hello?
You got a copy with me now?
Oh, I got you here, yeah.
All right, we're going to do it this way. We'll just come down here to this booth. We're just having some issues
That was
here.
odd.
So, coming around to the back stretch or the front stretch here on turn 4, we saw you pushing your teammate Gary Clune to the finish. Was this something that you had planned out, or were you trying to get around him? How did that go for you?
No, I was. I think the biggest thing for us was trying to figure out um, how we were gonna go on that restart. And Gary, basically told Gary, you start high, and I was pretty confident that I could push him out. And then by doing that, Adam would move down to the bottom lane, and we were working with Adam as well, and we could. Really kind of control the final couple laps. And I was 100% committed to Gary. I wasn't leaving his bumper until we either wrecked or got across that line. So it worked out. It worked out as we were hoping. And I just want to call out Gary and shout out to him because I believe it's his first Doghouse win, and it's been a long time coming. And he's had. It's no secret, a string of some unfortunate luck and some really good performances at Super Speedway, and it just hasn't worked out for him in the past. So really happy to get him that win, help him get that win, and well deserved. And for us, for BMP, I think, for Gary and I, we both got stage points on both stages and 1-2 finish, both led laps. Can't be any happier about the way the night finished for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And, especially how it's USA and Canada playing hockey tonight. I know we threw that up in the booth one time. Shows your Canadian flag beside your name at one point. How do you feel about your chances next week moving on to Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta's another obviously super speedway. It's quite similar with the draft package as tonight. Been running quite a bit of those this week in officials, so definitely ready for that. Looking forward to it. So, I think the key there will be similar as tonight. Qualify out near the front like we did tonight, and try to stay there. Being mid-pack near the end, you're putting your fate in a lot of other people's hands, and definitely don't want that. So try to control your own destiny as best you can, and try to qualify out front and have a good run. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I want to thank the whole team. Beast Mode Performance, BMP. We worked really well here tonight together. A couple folks had unfortunate luck. I know Kev and Shane both kind of fell off the pack, weren't able to rebound. And I guess that's a credit to the entire league because we did pretty well go the whole night without a caution until the end. So they never really had a chance to get back into it. So shout out to the league for a really good, hard, clean race. And shout out to yourselves. Looking forward to watching this back, and Daniel and the rest of the admins for putting this league on. And I'm sure BMAC was watching and rooting us on there tonight. So shout out to her as well.
He was.
All right. Well, good
And
luck
go
to you.
Canada.
Well, good luck
I
to you
just
next week,
got an
sir.
update, so we'll see how it finishes. But I think it's 2-2.
I believe
So.
it's
2-2?
I believe it's 2-2 right now with
Yeah.
3:54 in the second period.
Right on. So I got time to go have a beer and watch some hockey. Perfect.
All right.
Have to do it, yes, sir.
Well, good luck to you next week.
All right, thanks guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Yes, sir.
That was Andrew St. Cour. Now joining us in the booth, we got Gary Clune, your race winner. Gary, do you got a copy with us? I'm hoping Gary does. Hey, Gary, you got a copy? I don't think Gary can hear us. Get one more shot. Hey, Gary, you got a copy with us up in the booth? Nope.
Don't believe so, but
Well, that's
either
unfortunate.
way, just to,
I was trying to get a good interview with Gary here. I think this is his first win with the Doghouse Racing League. Excited to see what he had to say about it, how he was looking forward to next week. I saw him at the very end get a great push from his teammate to win it.
I was gonna say either way, just to maybe put some words in Gary's mouth here, with it being his first win here in the Doghouse Racing League. I know he's got to be so excited and excited to see how the rest of the season plays out. He raced an excellent race, super impressive by him, just all night long. Really, really great run. Did a great job finding his teammates and did a great job finishing this thing out. So I know he's got to be ecstatic. Gary, if you can hear us, I hope that you are going to go celebrate with your loved ones as you should, following an excellent race.
We're going to try this one more time here. Gary, oh. Gary, you got a copy for us in here? Still not getting nothing for him. What? That's all right. What we'll do is next week when we go to Atlanta, we will actually start off with an interview with Gary. I hate that we cannot get him here tonight. We've tried 2 different rooms here, but just having some issues going back and forth. So we will talk to Gary next week, I guess. But other than that, I want to give a big shout out to all of our other sponsors that put on the league for us and help us out, including Shoney's Auto Pro Service, True Patriot Apparel, SSR Design, Group 6, Trackside NASCAR Outlet, which I can say I actually just received my first car from them this week. So pretty excited about that. We'll be getting some more through them in the future.
John, do you reckon that we have time for a quick little self-plug?
Go for it.
So for those that don't know, myself and John, mostly John, but myself included, make up Nap Daddy Racing, Nap Daddy Racing Designs, Nap Daddy Racing Broadcasting. So if you are in need of a custom design or template, be sure to head over to napdaddyracing.com. That's KNAPPDADDYRACING.com. They make, and when I say they, I say John, hand makes all sorts of custom templates, either the exact design that you want or some of the designs that he has on the website, either for free or for just a few dollars. And then we are just now this year branching into broadcasting, which we are very excited about here on the Doghouse Racing League. Could not be more excited about being able to do this. We appreciate, again, everyone for tuning in. I know we had up to 25 viewers at one point tonight, had a lot of likes coming in, had friends and family of these drivers, had people that follow us over on TikTok at NapDaddy Racing join the stream. It was super exciting. It was a thrilling race. It was a really good time, and I couldn't be more happy to be here. John, I know you powered through some sickness. You got any last thoughts for us before we get out of here?
I'm just excited to see what happens next week. I'm very happy with myself that I was able to make it through this. I think my fever has rose 2 more degrees since we started, but we're powering through. Hopefully I didn't cough too much in the mic tonight. So, and then hopefully we'll be better next week when we go to Atlanta Motor Speedway. I believe it's going to be the new Atlanta as well. Your points leader is going to be Gary Clune. Is going to try to increase his lead with St. Core and Gardner behind him, trying to get first place and really get out in front of this 34 race season. So a lot of racing to be done, a lot of time to make up here. You can, maybe some guys that didn't get a good jump tonight can really make it up next week, and got a lot of time to do it. So it's going to be an exciting season for sure.
Looking forward to seeing how that's going. I believe I'm going to take Andrew St. Core's advice and go drink a beer and watch some hockey. But again, thank you everyone for joining in to the Doghouse Racing League. Be sure that if you are still in here, leave a like and subscribe, and make sure that you are following us for the rest of the Group 6 Cup Series that we will be bringing you here every Thursday night for the rest of this racing season. Again, my name is Hunter Foley with NapDaddy Racing Broadcasting here bringing you this.
And I've been John. See you guys.
Thank you, everyone.